The South African Police Service in the Western Cape has opened an inquiry into allegations of sexual assault against suspended Community Safety MEC Albert Fritz. In a statement, police say that they're waiting for statements from the alleged victims before a case can officially be registered. Let's get your reaction now, bringing the Western Cape's Premier Winde, who's with us via our video link from Cape Town this morning. Premier, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks very much indeed for making time. So, quite some time has passed since not only the story, but details around it became public knowledge. It's difficult to speak to you without acknowledging that there still hasn't been an official word from your office exactly about what happened.
So, it was 7 days, the period that I met with the people or the complainants, a 7-day period, because there's a number of them. And specifically, some of them were saying, please, we don't want this in the public space. So that's what I've been honoring, because I need to protect the complainants. And I still, even though yesterday I had a meeting with our independent investigator, I still need permission from the complainants to really go out with what all of the allegations are and the charges. So it is always a difficult environment in which to be. You say it's public knowledge, but it's not formal public knowledge. So it is a difficult environment, and I hope that I can have permission from the complainants to actually make it public, and we'll see over the next day or two if I can.
Yeah.
There are serious allegations, and they're serious enough for me to suspend, the MEC. I've suspended him, and we are busy with an investigation at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you say it's not public knowledge, not formal public knowledge, but your office, in that same token, also hasn't come out unequivocally to deny the reports that we've been seeing over the past week.
Well, it's hard to deny. I mean, I can't deny things. It's a complex case, and as soon as I can put the charges in the public domain, I will. We need to make sure, and I'm following legal process, I need to make sure that the case moves as quickly as possible. But I also need to make sure that we move as carefully as possible according to the rules, because I need to make sure that justice is done, and I cannot allow a loophole or a technicality to cause justice to be denied. So, I need to make sure that we are running this thing by the book, and that's exactly what I am doing, following legal advice, putting independent investigation in place, and that, it is an independent advocate appointed via the bar. So this is a proper process that we are running, and I have to make sure, because at the end of the day, I've got to make sure that it's fair. I've got to make sure that justice is ensured in the process, but I also have to make sure that there is no loophole. There is no technicality that actually denies justice. Absolutely. That's why, that is my commitment, and I will, as soon as I can, I will give the full communication on all of the charges.
So we've also come across reports that the claims of sexual assault against Albert Fritz actually came to your desk about 2 months ago, and you took some time before finally acting. Is there a level of truth in that?
Yeah, that is true. On the 23rd, a telephone call from a third party, not a third complainant, someone who is not involved at all, someone who had heard about it. So, not a direct, but a phone call on the 23rd of November, a meeting on the 24th of November, and in that meeting I said to the third party, I said, you cannot bring me a hearsay. I need to get the actual complaint. So please tell this person who has told you in confidence, tell them to bring me the detail. The best would be an affidavit, write it down, and bring me an affidavit. I promise you I will deal with it. That single person ended up in 2 people, and that happened over the next few weeks. And the first time I met that complainant face-to-face or heard from that complainant was on the 14th of January. On the 14th of January, I met the first two complainants, and I then brought in the legal team by the next day. And within 7 days, I'd met a number of other complainants because they raised names of other people. We managed to get a number of other complainants within 7 days. 2 days after that, the minister was suspended. The MEC was suspended. I don't think that's dragging my feet at all.
So after receiving the initial phone call, you decided to do nothing in the absence of the complainant themselves coming to you.
No, that is not true. When I received the first phone call where someone said, I have heard about something else, I then told him what to say to the complainants and how that would roll out. They needed to get their detail. They indicated to me over that period that they will put it all together, and the first time that they brought it to me was on the 14th of January.
We've already heard of some people coming up publicly to say that they're willing to speak if ever they're called to do so. So just for the sake of clarity, how many complainants do you know of that have actually come forward?
I only have, I have a total of 6 complainants that have come to me directly. And so that's the number that I'm dealing with, and that is what we've put into the legal process.
Implicating how many of your officials?
So, all right, so now I obviously am responsible for my cabinet and my MECs, and that is the suspension that I've put in place. I also want to state that, and we have also then through the head of department and through our government legal processes and the administration, suspended a further 4 people. So I've suspended the MEC and a further 4 people. The further 4 people are suspended because there are allegations, but it's not to say that how they are linked, but it is also to protect the rest of the team. So that was part of that process. That's why they are on suspension. They are also involved in a process to get full clarity. So there are actually 2 processes running at the moment. The first one is the process on my MEC. The second one is obviously internally in the administration. These individuals fall under the Administration Act, so they have to be dealt with via their senior officials, and that is a secondary process, and that's why their suspension couldn't happen immediately like mine on the Sunday. Their suspension happened on the Monday.
Yeah. My understanding is that you had tried to actually handle the situation within your office as a start, and there's been a whole conversation about whether or not that was the right strategy. With the benefit of hindsight, and by that I mean now that a lot of the information is actually spilled out, do you think that was a wise move?
Well, first of all, I deny that absolutely categorically. I got the call, I got the first affidavit, the next day I met with the legal team in the department. Nothing to do with my office internally. So, I mean, these are rumors again that, really that people are spreading. I deny that absolutely. I followed the process with legal advice from day one.
Right. And, again, optics are important to consider here. And another concern that's been raised is that, in the absence of anybody outside of your control actually looking into this, Winde, which is yourself, and Albert Fritz, you guys are known to be longtime friends in politics. I imagine what you also would have wanted to do is to ensure that you remove yourself from the process as quickly as you can to at least, avoid perceptions arising about your possibly protecting Mr. Fritz.
I can assure you I'm not protecting anybody. In actual fact, I'm protecting the complainants. If ever there was any protection in this space, I had my legal team with me when I suspended the MEC, and I will follow proper due process with legal advice, and I've done that from the first get-go. The MEC had no inkling of the week's work that we did beforehand. And when I called him in, I suspended him with legal people in the room when I suspended him. So I deny any of those rumors categorically. And the proof is that within the suspension on the Sunday and on the Monday morning immediately, not Winde, the legal team in our government started the procurement process of an independent investigator separate from government. And that was put in place within 3 days, sign off, not in the province, sign off via Pretoria. So, it is absolutely incorrect for anybody to make those kind of allegations.
Yeah. In the interim, while this process unfolds, are the complainants expected to report for work?
So we are offering all of the complainants, and remember, some of them work for our government, some of them don't. Everybody has got to be given protection, and everybody is given care. And of course, we need to play it in a way that people are not victimized or shown out as to who they are. That's why it is about protecting those complainants in the system. That is critical, and that is actually probably where I am picking up the flack, because people are saying, but you're not saying exactly what it is. Well, I promise you I'm protecting the complainants.
I hear that, but my question is still largely unanswered. Are they still expected to be at work?
It's up to them.
All right. Alan, Winde, thanks very much indeed for making time. Really do appreciate your clarifying some of these things for us, and hopefully you'll be able to speak, I guess, unequivocally about what exactly happened. That will open the door for us to have many other important discussions. But for now, thanks very much indeed. Alan Winde is the Premier of the Western Cape.